Hello, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Today, we're going to be continuing with our playthrough of the 100 line, Last Defense Academy. Our goal with that is still to get to a ending. I'm not confident that we're going to continue through multiple endings, but we're going to get one. Hey there, Dorothy. Welcome. Let's do a kitty check here. We do have Sammy up in the tree. We have Molly in Ember's spot. We have Mason over on the bed. I'm trying a different configuration of the blankets to see how they gather on those. Ember looping across the desk to get back to me after strafing me on the back of the chair for a bit. Sherbet and Sky are not visible, which is odd. Sky is normally somewhere. Sherbet's over getting a drink of water. It is critter season, so often they're sometimes behind that curtain over by the little window cat tree. The one with the sunlight on it, not the one that Sammy is in. Yeah. Ember's getting pets. But yeah, good day so far. Good day so far. We are on track. Our schedule has started, and we haven't already failed. So, go team. Oh, moving along with the coding, at least we're getting there. We're getting there. Working through a bit of a puzzle, but I think I got an idea. On how to solve the puzzle. If I haven't already solved it by tomorrow, we'll see. Since it's the first day, I do want to go over the schedule a little bit. We do have 2 coding days lined up already. We're going to be playing observation duty as well. I have a second day of 100 lines scheduled. Friday is a bit of a uncertainty. That's why it's listed as uncertainty. If there is a stream, I'm thinking observation duty. I'm gonna kind of tentatively call that out. Hey there, Leonardo. Welcome. Welcome. Ember. Oh, there's Sky. Just kind of hanging out over there, huh? Ember is not quite zoomy, but she's very wriggly. Ember isn't a run around and play cat as much. For one, she's second oldest cat. But she also just doesn't like to run around and play. She sort of just hangs out. But when she does get a little bit hyperactive, she'll kind of writhe around and want to get like real intensive attention. Hello, Sherbet. But yes. So this is a very narrative game. I will be reading a lot. Feel free to call out questions, chat however you want. I have plenty of time to stop and read now and again. Even the actionary sections of this game are still just turn-based battles, so. All right, let's see. Last we left, we had... I think the last battle we had was the introduction of Shoma's Mecha, and we have reached a free time segment. So we want to continue building our character skill set here. So we can keep upgrading weapons and the like. We're going to be trying to hit... Leonardo, this game is called The 100 Line, Last Defense Academy. It is a collaboration between the groups behind Danganronpa and I believe it's called Zero Escape. The art style is almost entirely Danganronpa. Kind of narrative and concept-wise, it is not a killing game. It is... I don't know, it's kind of hard just to describe it, but for the most part, it's a tactics game. tactics with kind of a feel of puzzle to it. The goal is not just to win the fight, but is to get the best kills possible, and sometimes that means causing your characters to self-destruct. Okay, we want to get science. We want to get science. Do you have any science folks hanging out? Yagamu, okay. What would creepy guy like? Well, I don't think we've hung out with Yagamu before, so if we talk to him, we might get an idea of the things that he would like us to gift him. We can probably guess. I mean, this is Mr. Murder McBio experiment here. But yes, Leonardo, I am located in the United States. For my sins, apparently. Cooking with Yagamu. Okay. Takumi, want to do a little cooking with me? Not really, but let's go. I'm shocked. You can cook? Despite how I look, I have a rather domestic side. Maybe I should be a house husband in the future. There have been a couple of manga, and I think they've reached anime. I know one of them was anime only kind of in name. It was one of those like motion comic style ones. Where they're effectively like hitmen or yakuza, like notorious ones who like effectively found the perfect mate and settled down to be the housekeeper of the pair, or the keeper of the home, you know. And usually there are some difficulties that they have settling in because of their past life. I think there's a movie in the US or somewhere that is like that, where you have a ex-assassin who's trying to be a real estate agent. I kid, of course. This is actually more like training than cooking. I'm working on my poisoning technique. Oh. We get some people, it can be interesting with streaming. You get people from all over the world sometimes. I've had folks in the channel that are from various parts of Europe. One of my other streamer friends is in the UK region. I'm not sure, I can't recall exactly where, but they're out in there. I think I've had some, I think some of the regular viewers have been in the UK. I believe we've had some folks from Brazil before. I think somebody mentioned they were from Turkey once. But it's neat, folks from all over. Poisoning? Mixing poison into delicious food and leading my target to their eternal rest. A pro assassin must be well versed in the art of cooking. Oh, right. He's an assassin. Wish he wouldn't do assassin training at the school. The character design has real Danganronpa vibes as well. They're all like... They all have that youth prodigy vibe, but it doesn't go as far as with Danganronpa being like, they're the ultimate such and such. It's just... Some of them are weirdly skilled. But some of them are often like... kind of down to earth. Gaku is the effectively the orphan who, you know, took care of other kids at the group home, and his skill set is largely he's really capable at day-to-day skills, cooking, sewing, all of that kind of stuff. Otherwise, completely obnoxious person, but very talented for day-to-day life. For those new to the game, this was Sire. These are nominally pre-recorded beginning of day, end of day messages that we get. Sire recruited, seems to have been the person that went out and pulled people into this operation, and was in charge of this particular facility until he was found cut into 8 pieces. I think 8 pieces. It looked like he was cut into quarters twice, you know? let's see, it's quartered, which would be... Wonder what the origin on quartered is. So you get like bisected in half into two pieces. Then it would be like, I mean, would it be trisected or would it be like tripled, or what is the proper terminology for the different ways that somebody can, for the different numbers of pieces that somebody can be cut into? Asking for a friend. We do not play the music of the game. This is not the music that the game normally has. I prefer to avoid copyright entanglements. I saw that Toby Fox recently put out a social media post about copyright concerns with the Steam release of Deltarune. And while last I recall looking at the media group that handles the rights management for Toby Fox's music, I recall the messaging on it being a little harsher. It is still effectively, well, if you get a notice, it's not our fault. YouTube requires us to do it. Just contest the claim. And I don't like having to submit legal paperwork to contend with a claim that should never have happened. So I'm just not going to do that. I'm just not going to put myself in a situation where I have to put out a legal notice that I should not have had to file. Because I know personally, if there is a content ID marker that is for my content, like I get a notice that somebody else might be using my content, I can go through and turn them off myself. So, in theory, that should actually be the pattern that they use. But regardless, I'm just not going to deal with that. You can get the soundtrack to this. There are various places to find it online to listen to it. And if you pick up the game yourself, you would be able to listen to it in that format. But you won't be hearing it here. Looks like another day's over. There's nothing to do here at night. I'll just go to bed and rest up for tomorrow. There is lots to do in the night in this place. But it seems like sleeping is a better idea given the whole... you might have to fight murder monsters. Adorable murder monsters. And so, our 45th day at Last Defense Academy ended without incident. We have 55 days to go, in theory. Assuming the whole 100 days of 100 line is actually accurate. Will we see Sammy passing through camera there? Is camera 1 functioning? Sammy has clearly put out Sky is in the spot that she wanted to get to. He has taken over my lap. And now she's kind of confounded. Cats generally don't like to back up. So she is trying to redirect. Redirecting in the most awkward path possible, as is tradition of cats. I think camera 1 might be jammed. No, maybe that'll be a thing that I do. Maybe I'll devote Friday's uncertain day to attempting the new camera experiment. And wire up a PoE camera. Because camera 1 cannot be relied upon. But we still have Mason visible. Sammy, don't pout. She is off to the right behind me, in disgruntled loaf position. Sammy and Ember are both prone to that. If they're not thrilled with the seating arrangements at the moment, they will often sit facing away from me, looking slightly back, like Like they're waiting for me to apologize, and they'll be in a, like, tight little loaf posture. You know, sitting on all fours, tail coiled around feet. Whether they're napping or not, that's angry loaf. The fact that Sammy had to crawl over Molly and then found out that Sky was in the spot she wanted. She was not pleased. Hello, Ember. That was a very enthusiastic day call out that time. I generally skip over the parts of that don't change. The part where he calls out which number day it is different each time, you know, as one would expect. But that's also when you can get changes of inflection to what he's saying, but also where he'll usually include like an announcement of new features or something like that. Right after the morning announcement ended, another sound echoed through my room. The doorbell. Good need to talk to me this early. I think like almost everybody comes to talk to you this early if they're gonna. Not really expecting anything, I opened the door. I got a shock when I saw who was there, though. Good morning. Do you have a minute? Her coming to talk to him is definitely unexpected, since she looks like his childhood friend. Her and her whole group, well, she has denied that she is, and that she knows that, and she says she doesn't know him. His whole group, or her whole group, says, leave her alone. But he insists that she must actually be his childhood friend and won't drop it. A lot of them get a pass for being teenagers, but that doesn't mean he gets a pass on the that still makes you creepy factor. Morning, sure, come on in. He is now convinced, alongside one of his buddies, that she must be a parallel world version of herself. I did my best to act like I would if I were welcoming any other friend into my room, but it wasn't convincing. I was still nervous around her. Even more so now that we were alone. Now that we've cleared everything up between our two groups, I can tell you about this with a clear conscience. It's time you knew about world death. This is the part of the reason behind the last defense academies that Takumi's group at the actual last defense was not told of. Presumably, it was what Sirei was going to tell them before Sirei was killed. Similarly, I think it was Hiriko, the last defense member that had stepped in to act as commander in Sirei's absence, was going to tell them what she knew, and then she vanished. Nozomi and the others, like Assassin Boy, are from second to last defense academy, which was blown up while acting as a decoy facility. According to the information Nigo shared with us, world death was the catalyst for this entire war. This is our flashback sepia tone scenes. This is the thing that started it all? More than that, it was also the reason humanity is now confined to the Tokyo residential complex. Hey, Tass. I mean, it wouldn't be out of the question for world death to be something really silly. But still treat it as if it's incredibly dramatic and that it could have caused such a situation. You know, it's kind of like in Demolition Man, the franchise wars, you know? They don't mention it, but it could have been an incredibly bloody conflict. Mercenary companies just devastating the world. Wasn't until a plucky band of rebels stepped in and finally ended everything, but not before Taco Bell had taken over. That's right, in the name of McDonald's. I feel like there must have been like some sort of Death Star aircraft carrier that sounded the Taco Bell bell whenever it fired. I mean, to add extra pain, yes, the Yokiro Taco Bell would have been a thing during that because of the time frame that Demolition Man was made during. It would have been all of the really cheesy advertisement that was done in those periods. World death has decimated the human population and forced the survivors to take shelter underground. I still joke about it. I know, language evolves. Decimated generally means reduced to next to nothing nowadays, but previously it would have just been 1 in 10 people were killed. McDonald's Land was such an interesting thing. Back when McDonald's tried to have like a full cavalcade of characters. And I believe now I saw an advertisement that showed imagery referencing the Hamburglar. But things like... so Grimace still shows up. They at least brought him back for a special thing recently. But you had Grimace, the Fry Kids. I can't remember what the bird's name was. Mayor McCheese. They pan over to the Arby's Forces task, and it's just some guys in the back of a pickup truck. Hey, Dodds, this game is called The 100 Line. It is the art, and some of the work is done by the company behind Danganronpa. We played Danganronpa a bit back. We suffered through to Danganronpa 2. I would say we suffered through 2. 1, while it wasn't satisfying all the way through, was not 2. 2 was pain. 2 very quickly became pain. Jarumi is a lot of fun, Dodds. The girl with the kind of half and half makeup. You'll really tell me? That's great. It's been on my mind for a while now. We're going to tell everyone, together. When you're ready, come meet us in the war room. The reason that they're telling everyone now is not because they had a special reason to keep it secret. Initially, they were concerned because their commanding officer had refrained from telling them. But it rapidly became, we're not going to tell you because we're all mad at you, so yeah. But we worked all of that out with violence. And one more thing. You said you knew someone who looks just like me. Could you tell me a little about her sometime? If it's okay with you, I mean. I liked the I'm going to lean down to you as if talking to a small child pose that she did there. That was not somebody who's genuinely interesting. That was interested in hearing it. That was somebody saying, oh, and I heard that you liked books. Tell me about what kind of books you like. Yeah. She's trying to redirect the crazy. I mentioned I'm trying out a new chat aggregation system. Again, you can't see chat because people can't be trusted. But part of what this same thing offers is a different alert structure, and I may try to use that. It would remove the need for a lot of my super custom solution. But maybe not. Maybe I can just wire it in, since it seems to be more reliable. Someone who looks just like her. I don't know if that's the way I'd put it, but no, first things first. I should head over to the war room and hear what they have to say. Yeah, the impetus behind it is I had a stream where I was concerned about leaving the stream up because of the kind of things that a raid started spamming. It was only by the heroic efforts of the two mods that happened to be there that we were able to contain it as much as we did. Oh, not that button. This button. Hi, Kako. What are you doing here on your own? I was thinking, is it okay for me to carry on like this? Even Shoma found the courage to change for the better. I wonder if we're actually going to get her helping now. Numerous times now we have had her express an interest in joining in to help the team, to maybe start fighting alongside them, but her brother has shut her down once in a really... You could see the veneer cracking. I really think we're going to find out that it's his fault that they've been living in such dire circumstances. She mentioned at one point him talking about like, hey, you don't need this, you don't need that. You know, I'll supply everything for you. And one of the things is like, you don't need a husband. My guess is that an arranged marriage was set up for her, and it wasn't that she wanted to run away to avoid it. It's that her brother convinced her to run away so that he could keep her to himself. We don't have an indication that it's a physical relationship, but we have strong evidence that it is a wildly abusive relationship. Like, mentally very gaslighty. I wish I could be more like the rest of you, fighting to protect the people I love. Are you sure you're all right? Kako walked away, heading for the war room with a profoundly thoughtful expression on her face. Okay, we have another person in the hallway. I choose to believe that it is to the right. We only know that they're in the hallway, not where they are in the hallway. What I'm learning is that it seems to have been left was the right decision. Hey, Takumi, everyone's meeting up in the war room, you know. I came here by mistake. Force of habit. I guess we're using the war room because we're talking about something really important. Ah, okay. She went to the cafeteria. That's why we found her there. All right, looks like everyone's here. Yes, indeed. All the dull-eyed simpletons with no refinement, no social standing, and no future, all gathered together in one place. I'm still of the impression that at the stage in her life that she's at, the way that she has used the mask up until now has created effectively a second person. This is not just she feels confident. This is almost Jekyll Hyde. If she puts on the mask, she is a very like an incredibly uninhibited version of herself, because the removal of the mask was a hard shift. It almost felt less of a don't take the mask off, I'm scared, and more of a don't take the mask off, I'll go away. But maybe that's just me. The future's an unwritten book. I could still make something of myself. Anyway, let me cut right to the chase and put an end to this argument before it starts. Know if my tracking is behaving nicely. Let me just observe this a moment. It can be hard to tell when I'm looking at OBS, but I think it's working. Yeah. Sometimes lighting and similar can throw off the tracking, and then things like, you know, the mouth go wrong. You said before that it, World Death, was what caused this war between us and the invaders. What is it exactly? We'll tell you everything that Nigo told us. It's a long story, but bear with us. That's your cue, Kyoshika. What? Me? But I haven't prepared anything. You're in charge of explanations. It's what you're good at. Explanations and exhibitionism. You're a double threat. I am not taking my clothes off. The dynamic between Kurara and Kyoshika is interesting. But I still love how Kyoshika is a... She is effectively an anime fanatic from a location isolated enough that she didn't have anybody to fully fact-check her. Almost, it's almost into kind of like Chunibyo territory, where she creates a persona or story for herself that puts her as kind of main character territory. I mean, anime main character. I have the power. I am the chosen one kind of stuff. Where she is presenting herself as a samurai, but she's got almost like a European cape. Her sword has a name that implies it's more of a long sword than a katana. She's wearing what looks almost like a more of a martial arts gi under the cape. The gi has what should have been the word for samurai, but it's off by a stroke. Just all kinds of silly stuff. Her supposed origin story is more of a hidden ninja village, along with some of the ways that she calls out stuff in combat is more ninja. She says she's samurai. It's just lovely. If she were cringier, she would wear a fedora and talk about learning the blade, you know? Don't worry, I'll take the lead here. Before I start, there's some terminology we need to get straight. Back in the Tokyo residential complex, did you ever hear about something called Planet Earth? Well, okay. Just that sentence right there has a lot of meaning. Planet Earth? I've heard of it, sure. I can't say I know very much about it, though. Same here. From what I read in library books back home, it's where humanity used to live, right? This is lore we did not have. This is tangibly... this feels like very important background details. But I do like that they haven't called it out. Everybody's mentioning the idea that they've heard of it, but that it wasn't like a day-to-day thing. And that is a problem that some fiction gets, is you will have characters take a moment, especially like TV shows and movies. You'll have characters that completely out of nowhere have a conversation about details of the world that should be assumed. Like, as far as the characters are concerned, That is a truth. That is something that you wouldn't mention. You don't see people walking around saying, hey, don't you like the blue sky today? Yes, I do. I also enjoy that the blue sky that we have here on planet Earth is so blue. You know, random orphan kid on the street decides to give you a quick briefing in geopolitics. They mention it in old manga sometimes, too. It's supposed to be really huge, like hundreds of times bigger than the complex. I think that's about all any of us know. They kind of skimmed over the subject in school. Humanity once lived all over planet Earth. The population was in the billions. And they didn't live under a giant ceiling either. They had an open sky, just like the one here. Billions? That many? But then, a phenomenon that came to be known as world death changed everything. Earth was no longer able to support life like it once had, and the population began to decline rapidly. To combat this, giant underground shelters were constructed to house the survivors before humanity died out completely. Underground shelters? You mean... Yes, that's what the place where we grew up really is. The Tokyo residential complex is a colossal shelter hidden deep beneath Earth's surface. That's a fun one. You know, I may have encountered that before, but I can't recall at any point we created an artificial city with artificial sky, kind of dome under the ground. Often it's like out in space or something like that. You know, it's on the moon, it's on a space station. The logistics for a giant underground city dome is just as impressive, if not more so, than out in space. You know, out in space, you can at least say we have magical sci-fi BS shields to protect us. But deep enough underground means that you're also dealing with stuff is trying to squish the dome, you know? A shelter? The whole thing? All this happened a long time ago, so even Nigo wasn't sure how accurate this information is anymore. But so far as we know, our community in the Tokyo residential complex is the last of humanity, and has been for hundreds of years now. Wow, we're really getting a history lesson today, huh? I never even knew there was a time before the TRC. And world death is what forced everyone down there? Just what kind of phenomenon is it? I feel like the quotes are appropriate for him, because phenomenon doesn't seem like a word that Takemaru would be frequently using. Essentially, the planet began killing itself. You'll need to explain. It did what? According to Nigo, the Earth has a life of its own, and while it's not quite like ours, it has its own will, too. Ah, so we're getting into, like, genius loci territory. When the planet decided to end its life, numerous natural disasters started occurring all around the world. Long ago, the people made a decision that the Earth rejected. We're not sure what it was, but it seems to have involved an orange man. That was world death. The planet tried to kill itself? It can do that? What drove the Earth to do that to itself? And how? Remember how we said the human population was in the billions? Well, they all needed somewhere to live. They developed and cultivated the world around them as they saw fit. not really giving a crap about the long-term consequences. Pretty soon they were draining the planet's resources faster than it could replenish them. Not to mention the many wars humanity fought against each other. Some of them were so bad they left the Earth permanently scarred. It couldn't put up with that kind of abuse forever. Something had to give. I feel like they're describing a series of things that could lead down a road to environmental collapse in a lot of areas, if not all areas. But they're also then anthropomorphizing the world as if it did these things. And often that's kind of a defense mechanism of, well, it wasn't the immediate consequence of our actions. Our actions were fine. Just, the Earth spirits didn't like what we were doing and, lashed out at us. I'm not surprised. Leeching off someone else without ever giving anything back and abusing them on top of that sounds like my scumbag brother. Even if it sounds like if we had removed sounds like my scumbag brother, that could have been like indirect shade at Ema. They didn't realize the planet had a mind of its own, but they should have known better. Humanity continued to propagate, willfully ignorant of the damage they were doing. Of course, the Earth wasn't completely powerless. It showed its resistance with earthquakes, tsunamis, wildfires, volcanic eruptions, stuff like that. But no one recognized those disasters for what they were. They ignored the warning signs just to keep on keeping on. Right, just like how he ignored all the eviction notices and restraining orders and doubled down on the violence. Darumi still continuing her own little story in the background. You're making it really hard for us to ignore you. Finally, Earth reached its breaking point and shut himself up in his room to wallow in self-loathing and play gory anime games all day. You can tell us your twisted family history later. Just shut up for a minute. Well, now I kind of do want to know more of Darumi's backstory. As I was saying, the Earth turned to its last resort. Darumi is great. I get the feeling that somebody that was in the channel was mentioning a lot about this game. Apparently, they fully cleared the game, all the endings, and really enjoyed it. And one of the things that they mentioned is Darumi as a favorite character is really common. So I was saying, the Earth turned to its last resort, to kill itself and take mankind out with it. If the Earth can deploy tsunamis, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions as a defense mechanism, it didn't need to wipe itself out. Tsunamis, heavy earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions are devastating. Like, we often take for granted the impact of a volcanic eruption because they frequently happen, far away from us. But a big volcanic eruption is a calamity. Like, you could wipe out a country easy. Fired a warning shot, but you hit us. It was only a graze. It was a nuke. That would be interesting, though. A giant entity like a whole planet, if you think of that as an individual, would it be looking at humanity as a series of individuals or as like a giant multicellular organism that it was contending with? Like an ant hive or amoebas or something or like a some sort of blob, you know? So would it consider wiping out, half of humanity more, wounding the thing? Like it's looking at you in the same way it would look at another planet. It's like, I realize there's just this big crater here, but I gave you a scar, as opposed to, I blew up Europe. You gotta admit, World Death is a pretty fitting name. So the planet dying, the planet choosing to kill itself, was humanity's fault? Not a pleasant thought, is it? The Earth must have really hated us by then. It's hard to imagine the kind of overwhelming despair that would make something do that. I have great concerns every time the word despair shows up in the script, if for no other reason that one of the painful things about Danganronpa was how they really liked to use the word despair. I know there was a element of the plot that centered around the concept of people falling into despair, but you're limited to about once per dialogue using the word. Just gonna throw that out there. And it has to be in a casual sentence. Like, it can't be in a usage that would be fitting to be in all caps, you know? Once world death began, there was no stopping it. The environment became barren, hostile. Millions, no, billions of lives were lost. The only reason humanity didn't go extinct is because a handful of communities were able to escape into the shelters. Like the Tokyo residential complex. Have you ever wondered where the name comes from? Most of the people in the complex are descended from residents of Tokyo, a metropolis that stood on the surface hundreds of years ago. Of course, it's been so long that no one remembers what kind of place it was, or why it was called that. Whole generations have lived their lives without any awareness of the world outside the complex. Us included, naturally. Wonder if we're going to find out that the invaders are the equivalent of either the rotting of the corpse or of, like, the remainder of the planet's life force, effectively its autoimmune response. Deploy the colorful T cells. By the time we were born, humanity had already been living underground for centuries. Until we were brought here, the complex, the shelter, was our entire world. We ain't in the complex anymore, so you're saying this is what the surface looks like now? We still have the big question of what the eternal flames, or the endless flames, or whatever they were, the purple fire is. For real? If it's that bad, should we even be here? Shouldn't we get back to the complex? And the complex isn't necessarily any safer. Not anymore. What do you mean? The TRC's days are numbered. The whole place is going to collapse soon. What? Why? How? When? World death is still going on. It won't end until all life on Earth is extinguished. It's only a matter of time until our little pocket of humanity runs out of resources and finally gives up the ghost. No way! Just one thing that can save humanity from the effects of world death and give everyone a brighter future. Investing in Bitcoin. Comically, or sadly, what is it called? well, digital currencies like Bitcoin and the way that we're doing generative AI right now would be viable things to include in a this angered the planet kind of concept because of the ridiculous energy consumption that goes into that. I think it was the equivalent of one AI query for some of them was the equivalent of 10 cents worth of electricity generation. I mean, even if you scaled that down to like a penny, a tenth of a penny, I think it was a smaller number, but just the cost of one query being that tangible of an amount of money. Ember is grabbing at my my hand for chin scratches, so she gets chin scratches. The table side camera that let's show it for a moment. Might be able to see part of Ember. Yeah. The tan part that is visible on the camera there is canvas. It's like a drop cloth. It's just a big roll of fabric. So the seller of it shows like uses for it in furniture construction, all kinds of things. But the texture of the canvas, the cats like, especially Ember. She'll roll all over it. That's whatever is in the defense room of this academy, or so Nigo said. It can save us from world death? But what is it? What is this school here to protect? Perchance it's a set of mystical artifacts that grant a single wish when brought together. Or maybe it's just one, and we'll have to set out on a journey across the universe to collect the others. A grand tour, if you will. What, you think you can just ask the Eternal Dragon to bring everyone back? Get with the program, Grandma. It's all about permadeath these days. Once you're gone, you're gone. Hey, morbid stories where everyone dies are even more out of date. In trying times, people need something more uplifting. Can you two have a discussion somewhere else? Unfortunately, Nigo didn't have clearance to actually tell us what's in the defense room. Said it had to remain secret so the enemy couldn't get wind of it. There was one thing he was very clear on. Whatever this thing is, it's humanity's last hope. In these trying times, can we interest you in a bunch of incredibly wealthy celebrities singing a song? Hey, Sherbet. Hey, buddy. I'm getting strafed by a lot of kitties today. I'm trying to figure out places that I could put more of these. They're like self-grooming things for cats. You generally put them on like a table leg or the corner of a wall. But they're just like plastic bristles. Hard plastic bristles so they can rub their cheeks on them, that kind of stuff. And Sherbet in particular needs stuff like that since he's prone to acne. Help him clean his chin. That sounds ominous. And we're fairly certain that something is going to happen on our 100th day here. Something's going to activate or awaken or something. At any rate, that's what will deliver humanity from world death. We'll be able to live and thrive on the surface again. Hey, buddy. All we have to do is make it to day 100. Nozomi said it's our last hope, but last chance might be more appropriate. If we mess it up, mankind is done for. Our last chance. And the invaders are trying to stop this world-saving event from happening? Yeah, the invaders are another thing we didn't get that many details on. In particular, the humanoids are, the commanders are the thing I'm interested in more about. But judging by what we have been told, we've come to a conclusion of our own. The invaders are world death itself. Like something summoned by a curse? The Earth must have given birth to them in order to further advance world death and the eradication of all life on the planet. You've seen the way they fight. It's not such a stretch, is it? And it would explain why they're so fixated on destroying the school. So they're not actually an invading force so much as manifestations of the planet's will? I mean, I guess I wasn't too far off. Colorful T-cells. Then the Earth itself is the final boss here? How are we supposed to deal with that? Nukes. Things have gotten really heavy, huh? Sorry, I started getting nervous again. Tsubasa's general, anime character trait gimmick is that she throws up when she's nervous. Consistently and violently. Now do you see why it's so important that we protect whatever's in the defense room from the invaders? We haven't been exaggerating. Humanity's future really does depend on us. The hopes and dreams of all mankind rest on our shoulders. We can't let them down. If we lose here, it's all over. So that's how it is. Yeah. I just noticed her cape. You can see it a bit behind the dialogue there. Can I... Is there a button for that? No, that might be a camera thing. Let's see if it's going to be... maybe F? No. Oh well. So, around comprehensive study there, you can see that one of the emblems on her samurai cape, so up by her shoulder are the kind of emblems that would be like family sigils. Like, samurai era family symbols that you'd see on like a banner. But beneath it is a happy little cat perched on a crescent moon with a big red bow tie. Her entire persona is cobbled together from the manga that she could find. There you have it, a comprehensive summary of the situation. This is why we must strive for nothing less than total victory. Why are you looking so pleased with yourself? You didn't contribute to that comprehensive summary at all, you glory-hogging chowderhead. Forgive me, that was never my intent. Yeah. She has multiple martial arts belts tied around her waist. She has a black belt and a white belt with a red marker on it. If we're looking at and the upper part of her garment that she's wearing, that could be any number of martial arts, but generally like karate, that kind of thing. Usually you wouldn't have a red stripe on a white belt though. You have the sword, the emblem on the chest. She has still the type of cape really seems to be much more of like a European cape. More of like a, it's like a mantle kind. Just all over the place. If you want forgiveness, strip down and bury your contrition for all to see, but leave those ridiculous sneakers on. You'll look even more exposed that way. Really, they have a very particular dynamic between each other. Why this sudden fixation on me getting naked, Lady Kurara? Ito with the anyway. If everything you've told us is true, then yes, we understand now. We finally know what this war is all about, and how important it is. Better late than never, I guess. It explains the difference in the two groups' attitudes as well. It's no wonder Nozomi and the others have such a strong sense of duty. Us, on the other hand, Sirei was killed before we could hear about any of this. We've just been fighting for our own reasons, in our own disorganized way. Wish I'd known this sooner. I'd be more fired up than... I'm more fired up than ever now. Fighting to save people, that's one thing. But saving all of humanity? That's on a whole nother level. If we pull this off, we'll be heroes. We'll probably get a reward and everything. I mean, at the very least, celebrity status. I mean, think of the endorsement deals. It'd be very easy to land like a Gamer Supps sponsorship then. I mean, if we save all of mankind from destruction, no one's going to begrudge us a couple million yen here and there, right? I knew whatever was going on here was serious, but I never thought it'd be this bad. I might have been better off not knowing. I still think the people in charge are crazy for sending an unremarkable nematode like me, but since I'm here, I guess I should give it my all too. Shoma is way more tolerable now that he is at, I'm worthless, but I'm going to give it a try, as opposed to, I'm worthless, so I'm going to slink away into the corner. Don't worry, so long as we work together, we can overcome anything, even world death. At the end of the big let's all come together fight, Ito did the, asked everybody to participate in the let's all put our hands in the center of the circle, anime friendship thing. Everyone's sounding a lot more motivated now. We're still missing a lot of details, but it's enough for us to start presenting a more united front. This doesn't feel like some random war we were forced into anymore. It's so much more than that. Let's see how long he'll stick around here. Processing. There we go. There's Sherbet, the rare Sherbet appearance. Well, outside of his little house, you know. Okay, so some of us are taking it better than others. It is a lot to take in, after all. Sorry to have to be the fly in your ointment, but I still have some reservations. Now more than ever, I have to wonder, if this mission is so important, Why entrust it to a bunch of random teenagers? I'm sorry, I can't answer that. Nigo didn't seem to know anything about the selection process. Maybe there's a clue in the dreams Shoma's been having. The ones about us being experimented on in that place? Kamakura General Hospital, was it? Interesting idea. Too bad it's not really enough to go on. I'm sorry, my peanut kernel of a brain can only handle so much. We did find out that a lot of Shoma's insecurity seems to be based on the fact that he had very successful parents that had incredible expectations of him and were very harsh that he wasn't meeting them. So he withdrew into the, if I don't try, I can't fail mentality. Like, I'm going to fail anyway, so I'm going to avoid the pain of failure. What you think, Ima, Kako? Does all this make you want to fight like the rest of us? Us? Fight? Yeah, humanity's future is on the line, you know. Mr. Yakushiji, I think you need to get your hearing checked. I've already made my position quite clear. I don't care about humanity. I don't care what happens to the complex, or to the planet for that matter. We've no real reason to get involved, so we'll just leave the fighting to you. Isn't that right, sister dearest? Okay, does she push back harder this time? But if it's to defend all of mankind, then... See, my dear sister agrees. Let the girl talk for herself, man. Oh, yeah, we're getting more to this conflict. If that's all, we'll be leaving now. I haven't had breakfast yet, and I'm positively famished. Good luck with the whole saving the world thing, everyone. Yeah, we could see right there. This is and he walks her away. You know, not necessarily visibly, but he is dragging her around. Nonchalant as ever, Ima turned and left, dragging Kako along behind him. Okay, something's seriously wrong with the Wonder Twins over there. How can they remain so detached from everything? They're like two self-obsessed peas in a pod. Still cute, though. Do young people today have no notion of social responsibility? But fear not, the holy Jumanji sword and I will beat some sense into them. Leave them, Kyoshika. Trying to force them will only push them away further. It's just the way they are. There's not a lot we can do about it. You okay, Aito? I'll be fine. This long discussion is starting to take its toll on me. That's all. We have been talking for a while now. Maybe we should end the meeting here and give everyone some time to process this information. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. She'll probably short-circuit if she has to listen to any more. Everyone else seemed to agree with the sentiment, so we decided to go back to our rooms for the time being. What a way to start the day. I have a feeling this will do wonders for our morale, though. Protecting this school means putting a stop to world death. It means bringing hope back to a dying world. We may not know why we were chosen for this mission, but that doesn't change what we need to do. I'll keep fighting for the good of humanity, for everyone back in the complex, for Karua. Now that that's settled, what should I do for the rest of the day? I don't really feel like sitting around doing nothing right now. We're going to put down a save real quick here. Check our time frame. Yeah, okay. We're going to take a quick break and then back to it. hand whipping. Just joined Sky up in the tree. Her little chin is propped up. All right, we have another free time segment. We should be able to give a gift to Yagamu here. So we can try to take a shot at what he would like. A professional. So medical tools are plausible here. We'll eat some of our mechanical parts if we try that. Let's take a crack at it. I wanted to skip going in and putting the filter on there, but he does have that morbid interest in, like, body modification kind of stuff. Yeah, he liked that. There we go. All right, so now we're going to check our... What upgrade center was it? Garage, maybe? That should be like weapon upgrades. Yeah. So give us an opportunity to see what Shoma's abilities are. Let's see. He can get Last Yell. Him getting Counter-Strike would actually be really good. His mecha gets Omega Punch with a function of try to actually attack for once. Inflict stun on the user. Which makes sense. He that can make him pass out, is trying to be directly physically aggressive. Allies acting with 1 AP, so the last actor in a round can get a buff. But I think that might be an action. We need to be careful about that with him. Oh, let's try it. I think it's worth getting. Increase voltage gain. He is absolutely somebody we want to buff up. He is... OP is all get out so far. Okay, the next upgrade would be movement distance. And it's aggression signal that we would use after moving. Okay. I think that's worth it. I think that's worth it. So we have spent many the blood point. Not that one, this one. Let's see, we're pretty far along on creativity and a bit on technology. What are some of the traps and similar that we could make? You need help? Of course you do. I'll handle this. Okay, we don't have enough minerals and machine parts to upgrade our items further and get more uses out of them just yet. I don't think we can go out exploring since it's in the afternoon. So actually, let's use the day on Karara here and see if we can get a tag for the kind of gifts she likes. Unforgivable. Someone must pay for this. What's the matter, Karara? What are you so mad about? Listen to what that imbecile Gaku just said to me. You think you're all that, but under that mask, you're just a lame little baby. I can't allow a pauper to call me a little baby. I have to get my retribution. So that's why I made this. I'll show him. I have created Gun. A gun? You're gonna shoot Gaku? That's what he gets for sullying my honor like that. Just you wait, Gaku. I'm gonna splatter your brains all over the place like tomato sauce. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't actually played this card, like have it actually happen, where somebody kills someone else in the school. Because in theory, the drones would find the body, pick it up, and revive them. It's going to be a bloodbath. Okay. Is it that my experience in general has unlocked a general keyword, party? Or is there something about what Karara just said that unlocked the keyword, party? Because if it's the latter, I have concerns about the translation in play here. Hey there, James. Welcome. How have you been? Day's already over, and just like the announcement says, we've got no idea when the next attack might be. When it does come, I'll be ready. I'll fight with all my might to protect this school. Guess I'll call it a night. Getting enough rest is a part of being prepared, too. I lay in bed, closed my eyes, and within a few minutes found myself drifting into a deep sleep. Like learning computer security stuff, James, or are you implementing security stuff, or both? Neat. Implementing stuff that you know. That's always kind of fun. Yes. Yes, you are, Takumi. That we found out what in general the olden days refers to just now to tie in the fact that all the books and similar about um, any concept that exists outside the dome were so old that they have been in the subterranean shelter for thousands or hundreds of years, centuries. It's always interesting to think of how our historical understanding of time, like at least the popular historical understanding of time, gets so distorted. I joke about it, but the idea ancient Egypt is a huge span of time. I can't remember what the example was that somebody called out, but like the time between two different major figures in Egyptian history is greater than the time between one of those figures and now. I was trying to process, Dodds, what you had said. Kind of crazy times pants, really. The idea that autocomplete ambushed you there seemed likely, but it was still funny. Given the speed at which terrible nonsense is happening, often it feels like the time between last week and this week is incredible. There's definitely something to that, with the idea that the dome is meant to be a shelter. If there are outside forces trying to wipe them out, then just the knowledge of the location of a shelter is a critical secret. Especially if you're facing an entity that can deploy earthquakes and volcanoes, let alone colorful, murderous monsters. That would be one way is, what if the defense room is the entrance to the Tokyo residential complex? Like, the one way from the surface down to it. And as soon as they activated the system, it was now exposed to the invaders, and that's what the initial attack was. Doesn't quite scan, but One of Molly's spots that is unique to the others is that she will be right under the monitor, which is kind of up and left from that camera. So she shifted off the heating pad to the side of it. It was a little bit of a bouncy way to say that. How ironic. I never felt any kind of interest in the outside world, but I'm the one who ended up here. Wonder how many people in the complex have ever thought about leaving. They even want to live on the surface again. I can't speak for everyone else, but Karua would love it, that's for sure. If we can make it through these 100 days, I can make that happen, right? What would life be like for us then? I can't even imagine it. No use worrying about it now. I have to actually make it through this war first. As for today, I'll start by going to the cafeteria. I'm pretty hungry. Narrative. Okay, we have Yagamu outside. We have Nozomi outside. Okay. Usually they'll be over here. Okay, yeah. Hey, Otakumi. I was thinking, since we're friends now and all, how'd you like to throw away your humanity and get in on my experiments? It'll only hurt for a second. Told you, I'm perfectly happy the way I am. Alright, where is this person? I really need to just start trying to search to the left when I'm looking for people on this floor. Good morning, Takumi. On your way to the cafeteria? Yeah, and hey, thanks for telling us all that stuff yesterday. I'm sorry it took us so long. I just wish we knew more about world death. Nigo never went into much detail with us. And we still don't know what Sirei and Nigo are, or were, given Sirei was chopped up and Nigo got exploded. Supposedly. Little translucent beings with like exposed brain and heart. We do know it caused a lot of natural disasters, but could the undying flames be a side effect of it too? Maybe they're effective at keeping the invaders out because they come from the same source, but that's just speculation on my part. It would make a kind of sense if that was it, though. Thanks, well, I'd better get going. I'll see you later. Nozomi might not be as cautious around me as she used to be, but there's still a sense of distance between us. That's right, you creeper. I don't think we're at a stage where I can start asking her about Karua and parallel universes just yet. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be a conversation that encourages her to interact with you a lot more often. That is right up there with, we used to be lovers in a previous life kind of conversation. It is not going to endear you. The cafeteria was more full than I'd seen it in a while. Main campus and second campus, fighters campus and fighters and non-fighters. They were all there. Sure is busy today. It's kind of nice to see everyone together like this, though. Almost like we're a real class. No offense, but if I had to go to school with these weirdos, I'd never make it to graduation. Don't worry, Gaku. You're less of a classmate, and more like a slave who happened to come in through the wrong door. What kind of school would keep slaves on its grounds? I think we'd make a great class. All these strong personalities make it more interesting. Wouldn't you say so, Takumi? Yeah, maybe. Just when I feel like I'm starting to get used to Nozomi, I dream about Karua, and now I'm uncomfortable all over again. We learned a lot about world death yesterday, but I'm still no closer to figuring out the connection between those two. I thought you guys had morning training around this time. You taking a break today? Yes, we can always train a little later, and it's worth it to get to talk to everyone. I, for one, welcome the change. Just spending a little time as a group in the morning is sure to bring us all closer together. That stinks. What? Oh, no, not whatever vapid inspirational statement you are about to make, Mr. Aotsuki. I mean, there's an actual weird smell in the air. It's like rotting fruit and armpit sweat. That's my curry you're talking about. You're going to ruin everyone's first impression of it. Wait, you made more curry? Well, you looked so pathetic when you said how much you wanted to eat it again. I couldn't help myself. There we go. There's our confirmation that this is our tsundere character. Well, the horrible little peon was so dejected, I couldn't help but magnanimously offer him a taste of good food. Wait here, I'll go get it. Kurara slipped away and returned with a plate of curry, which she set down in front of Gaku. Prepare your taste buds for the ride of their life, courtesy of the O Suzuki family recipe. I expect you to eat it all, even the plate. I'm not eating the plate. Besides, curry is kind of heavy for breakfast. Oh, you unrefined little mole rat. What is it like to live so totally unaware of the world around you? I've adjusted the flavor to make it suitable for a morning meal. Now hold on to your ass because it's going to send you into orbit. Come on, I bet it's not that great. Despite his protest, Gaku scooped up a spoonful of curry and brought it self-consciously to his mouth. Okay, his face has got to be a reference. From a visual perspective, it's shifting from left to right. It's shifting between his normal character art, and it's actually transitioning over to very simplified cartoon art, including the little cartoon exclamation bubble. Yep. So we can see the rest of his face is starting to morph further. The taste seems mild at first, but then you realize it doesn't need to flaunt its spiciness. It just lets itself spread through your mouth, subtly, demurely. But then the aftertaste hits you, and it's like a fireworks display of flavor, sweet and savory bursting in one after the other, perfectly balanced so neither overpowers the other. The more you eat, the stronger the spiciness gets, until your tongue is tingling with delight. The contrast it creates with the simple wholesomeness of the rice is sublime. Don't even get me started on the texture. The sauce is so creamy, the meat so tender. I can't stop eating, my body's desperate for more. Slow down. I can't keep up with all this information. The dish is the ultimate evolution of culinary achievement. Bow down before its superior pedigree. Yes, ma'am. Is it really all that? Hey, man, let me try some. Just one bite. Me too. How much curry do you guys think is in a lethal dose? Back off. This is mine. Thieves, all of you. You won't take my precious from me. No one can resist the allure of O Suzuki curry. Very well. You may all partake of my family's gift to the curry lovers of the world. Form an orderly line there. Is it going to be like this every morning from now on? Let them have their fun. A little camaraderie might help improve their teamwork. Yeah, I guess you're right. Do you mind if I ask you something? What is it? When you were a kid, did you want to see the outside world, the world outside the complex? Did you ever think about that kind of thing? Yes, actually. I thought about it quite a lot. I thought it would be great to see it with my own eyes, even if it was only for a little while. Granted, now that I'm here, it's not exactly what I was expecting. Huh. The lively mood lasted all through breakfast. Eventually, the group dispersed, and I headed back to my room. Anytime I talk to Nozomi, it just raises more questions about her and Karuha. Sometimes it feels like their personalities are completely different, but then Nozomi will come out with something I've heard Karuha say before, practically word for word. They really parallel versions of each other? I seriously can't think of anything else that would explain it. Coincidence. Hey there, Lore. Welcome. How you doing today? No use racking my brain about this. I'll try to talk with her more later. In the meantime, what should I do today? Okay. Well, we've got some usable information on Yagamu, but let's see if we can get a keyword that is more descriptive out of Kurara. Takumi, assist me with my training. I mean, there is something to be said for being able to just say, today, there is something to be said for a day that is just a day. It's not an exciting day. It's not a bad day. It is currently just a day. Assessment has to come later. You're always training for battle whenever you have free time. How do you manage to stand doing such intense training every day? It's only natural. Despite my appearances, I'm a soldier after all. A soldier? The Osuzukis rose to prominence through weapons development. We're military nobles. We Osuzukis must be brilliant soldiers in order to lead armies. That's why I train every day to discipline my mind and body. So I can remain as the noble I was born to be. So her daily training is part of her duties as a noble, then. Guess the upper class have their own struggles, too. I mean, Lore... health trends in general, but I would say health trends in the last couple of decades, minimum, have been increasingly bizarre. Like, it's not just, yeah, that's a diet, but it's kind of questionable, or like lightweight on it, your early Weight Watchers and whatnot. But really, we can look back further and further. Things like those old machines that were essentially just straps that would vibrate your belly with the idea that that would slim you, What was the latest horrible cosmetic surgery trend? It was like injecting salmon sperm into the face or something like that. Like needles at multiple points on the face. It really is a but why? Kind of scenario. Party and exercise. All right, let's see what kind of items fall into those categories. Yeah. That is true. The entire concept of a Botox injection is already pretty frightening. Not only because, it's kind of a lethal poison if it's done wrong, but additionally just the fact that you're doing it in order to inflict a small version of the symptoms. Like you want a bit of facial paralysis. Just a little, Don't think the electric massager, None of these items strike. Boxing gloves. Okay, boxing gloves could work. Real boxing gloves for real matches. Master using them and you can use special punches with mysterious powers. How did you know something like this? Yep. That was the right kind of thing. Hitting the right kind of gift is a plus 20. I'm still curious if they're ever going to explain what these things are. What are the little blob people? The hovering brain inside them is one of the big parts of the question. Like, you could look at the little heart. I mean, it's a cartoon heart. It appears to be like a decal on their chest region. But the brain is definitely floating inside them. Our last battle was still pretty recent, so there probably won't be another for a while. But this is the invaders we're talking about. They don't do predictable. I better rest up for whatever tomorrow brings. I fell asleep surprisingly easy that night. Compared to when I first got here, the absurdity of the situation and the overhanging threat of enemy attacks didn't bother me nearly as much as it used to. Maybe I was getting used to the place, but was that a good thing? We're almost at the halfway mark. 50 has got to be something happening. Just narrative causality. The halfway mark needs to be something, even if it's just a feature unlock. The halfway mark has got to be a thing. I still love the sound of whenever he lists the day, it almost a majority of the time it looks like he's checking a calendar, like, running his finger down the calendar being like, this is your 48th day. If it's meant to be that these are all entirely pre-recorded, he just has there's a number card somewhere in front of him that he flips over each time. And when he's reading it, he references it real quick. Hey there, Lunar. How you doing today? Morning already. Better head over to the cafeteria. Okay, nobody hanging out. Actually, we do have several people out on the roof, so... I can't take it anymore. Everyone's gotten over their differences, and they're all getting along better than ever. I can't even kill myself to spice things up. I'd just come right back. I have been tempted to play Blueprints, Lunar. It's just so many things on the pile, you know? Maybe it would be better if I did die for real. No one needs poor old Darumi anymore. I'm so emotionally exhausted, all I can do is cry. I'd rather not get involved in whatever that is. She probably just needs to get it out of her system. I started playing Deltarune again in the background. Won't be on stream because I just don't want to deal with it. It is very good. Despite Toby Fox's fresh announcement that, like, hey, you just need to contest the content ID claims and they'll clear them. I still remember the publisher being a little harsher in the original messaging. And I don't want to have to keep submitting legal documents for every one of my streams. Why am I not allowed to talk to the others? I want to make friends too. Yeah. Well, there's a hard confirmation. She has been told she's not allowed to talk to anyone else. I want to come out of my shell. I want to change. Still mumbling to herself, Kako wandered off towards the cafeteria. That is going to explode extra spectacular. The relationship of the twins has got to detonate dramatically. When I got to the cafeteria, everyone else was already there, chatting pleasantly over their morning meal. So Shoma, I've been wondering, what actually powers your robot suit? What's the structure of the mechanical parts like? I think it runs on hemoanima, and sorry, I don't really know that much about how it fits together. Maybe you can summon it for me sometime? I'd love to take a closer look at it. Subhasa, please, you shouldn't get so close. My body odor is hazardous to the health of everyone around me, especially girls. I bet it's not that bad. It's not, is it? Is this the price of your power, Sir Shoma? Did you have to make a vow never to allow yourself to be touched by a woman unless she bests you in a fair battle? But in the midst of all that merriment, two figures remained steadfastly silent. They're awfully quiet today, even for them. I started towards Ima and Kako, but before I could reach them, another voice called out to me. Takumi, do you have a minute? It's important. What's up, Aito? It's about what we discussed before. You know my theory about how we all got here? Like, their memory of how things went down and saying that seems strange. Like, the idea of seeing, like, potentially seeing other realities as they fell towards this one is interesting, but we're getting an action anime leap to conclusions. Which, you know, suspension of disbelief and all, but still. Did you find out anything new? Not exactly. I know this will sound weird in light of what I said before, but I don't think we're dealing with a parallel universe after all. Perhaps not. After we learned about world death yesterday, I did a lot of thinking. We're here fighting the invaders to make it safe for the remnants of humanity to move out to the Tokyo residential, move out of the Tokyo residential complex, right? We haven't had a new action sequence, Dodds. I'm not sure if you were here for the description of what world death is, but I think you were. We have further indications that we're going to see a conflict with the twins. And I'm looking forward to it. So the complex and the academy don't exist in different worlds like we originally thought. It's just that one is on the surface while the other is underground. When you think about it that way, the idea that we've been transported to a parallel universe starts to look less credible than it did before. One more thing. I've been asking everyone about their lives in the complex, trying to build up a more complete picture. If we really were in a parallel universe now, it wouldn't be out of the question for some of us to have originally come from different versions of the TRC. But so far as I can tell, our accounts line up perfectly. There's no doubt that we all came from the same place. Okay, but there's still stuff we can't explain, right? Stuff that supported the parallel universe theory? You mean the connection between Nozomi and your old friend Karua? I'm afraid I'm no closer to solving that mystery. Right now, I can only assume that their likeness to each other is a coincidence, or that they're the same person and something's gone wrong with her memory. Yeah, don't encourage him about that second one. Similar hair vibe. Got more of a part. When you say something's gone wrong, do you mean, hey, you two, what are you whispering about over there? Nothing at all. We are not suspicious. That's right, we're just having a normal conversation. Nothing suspicious here. I enjoy that that I am frequently calling out kind of what the next line will be. If for no other reason than the script does have a lot of like predictable aspects to it, but that doesn't make it bad. You know, saying that only makes you seem more suspicious, right? Anyway, all this completely normal conversation has given me an appetite. Let's dig in. Yes, my thoughts exactly. And then they very robotically walk away. Aito and I gave our attention wholeheartedly to our food in a vain attempt to throw Nozomi off our trail. Feeling bloated from scarfing down so much so quickly, I went back to my room to let my stomach settle. Now that I think about it, Aito's probably right. Knowing what we do now, there's no reason to think our residential complex exists in a totally different world from this one. But then, how do we explain Nozomi and Karua? Coincidence? Amnesia? Even if we do fit on one of those explanations, how are we supposed to prove it? You don't need to. Coincidence is an explanation in and of itself. They both like the color blue. What could it mean? If I asked Nozomi about it directly, it'll only put her on the back foot again. She's finally starting to get comfortable around me. I don't want to jeopardize that. Once I get like this, it's hard to think about anything else. I'm starting to wish Aito never shared his theory with me in the first place. I need to do something to take my mind off this. How should I spend my free time today? Okay, I think... Okay, we're gonna put down a save first. Then we are going to We're going to go on a trip outside because we need to get more minerals and machine parts. So we're going to focus on people that can do minerals and machines. We'll do. This is a decent crew. Actually, we'll do Nozomi there just because of her ability to heal. Which, if we have to get in battles, having her mitigate some of the damage will be handy. You know what? This spot is fine because I do see gold, minerals, and machines already visible. And the ruins of an old park. One flower bed still contains a lot of healthy flowers. Look at flowers. No flowers. Although there are no flowers that could be used, you were able to find some gardening pumice. Find a toy store and some ruins. There are still some products on the shelves. You might be able to dismantle them. Car radio. Oof. So we're trying to disassemble the remote control car. The tires suddenly started spinning like wild. Your hand got caught and was injured. That was a non-trivial hit. Jeez. Find a creepy straw effigy in some temple ruins. It exudes a discernibly malevolent aura. Burn it! Kill it with fire! The effigy went up in flames and turned to ash. Almost immediately, the air in the surrounding area changed, as if the land had been purified. Interesting. That would be a monster space. It'll be textiles. See a large flag planted on top of a broadcasting tower. Seems like it would be useful. Ah, so there was a marker in it that says "Let Ema do it," which this is a. We've seen this before, but this is game mechanics giving away narrative. The fact that Ema was visible there implies that at least at some point, in some way, Ema could be out here with us. Large flag. You see shards of glass on the ground. You might be able to use them for something. Yeah, look for intact pieces. While searching for intact glass, Takumi slipped and fell and was injured. You get broken glass. But that was effectively a failure roll. Because we only got a gray one out of a gold space. Find an old recycling machine. Put materials inside and it'll dispense something new. Yes. Why did you put the flag in? It was my best item. Well, I mean, I wanted machine parts, I guess. You dropped your bag. Everything fell into a nearby pond. Ate into water. Able to recover your items, but the water was chilly and you caught a cold. Ah. We are... We are going to have to bail early here. Surrounded by a thick fog, you can barely see what's in front of you. Hide and wait. Okay, we'll use the 5. We'll get to this gold space. Look under the cloth. There's nothing but debris under the fabric. You must just be seeing things. All right, we are going to bail on the investigation here. We've had too many nasty failure markers. Not bad. All of the bonuses helped with the machine parts. Definitely got robbed a couple of times. Skip, skip, skip. Another day gone. Time sure flies when we're not fighting. Now that I'm alone, though, I can't help coming back to the Nozomi Karua issue. I need to stop thinking about this. Yes, you do. There's nothing I can do about it for now. No, you can't. I got into bed and, with difficulty, cleared my mind. I didn't want to lose sleep over this problem if I could help it. And so the curtain fell on my 48th day at Last Defense Academy. Day 49. I do try to cut it off on a word that creates a complete sentence still. It's probably meeting up in the cafeteria. Ema's outside this time. Ah, Mr. Sumino. Perfect timing. Can I give you a message for the others? A message? What is it? My dear sister and I won't be coming to the cafeteria for a while. I've decided we need to put some distance between ourselves and the rest of you. Yeah. Our next major event is going to be their conflict. He is forcibly isolating her now. She has expressed too many independent thoughts. In short, I'd like you all to leave us alone. What do you mean? Your presence is having a pernicious influence on my dear sister, and I can't allow that. Nothing personal. Wow. He just straight up said it. Ema left, flashing me the same carefree smile as always. The heck was that about? What's going on with those two? So if you look, they have separate rooms. She is in his room, but additionally, they have both of their icons separate. I can't remember if they did that normally. The cafeteria was full, like it had been the last few days. Kako and Emo were the only ones missing. Aren't the twins coming today? I don't know. Should I go check on them? I'd offer to do it, but I'm afraid the sight of me so early in the morning would ruin their entire day. I saw Ema earlier. He's fine. Said he wants us to leave him and Kako alone for a while. Come to think of it, he told me the same thing. Wonder what's gotten into him. Something about us having a pernicious influence on his dear sister, right? Well, that's just rude. Accurate, though. The walls are awfully thin around here, Kyoshika. I heard you and your sword going at it last night. That's a lie. I was being so careful. Nobody could have heard me. Okay, so up until now, all of her callouts have been, that's not true. I don't do that. That one clearly says she does that. You realize you just admitted you were up to something, right? Well, it's not like Ema treating us like dirt is anything new. I say leave him be. Nothing any of us say is going to convince him to fight anyway. He's never isolated himself in Kako like this before, though. He is constantly isolating them. If not, like, even if they're physically present, he ensures that there is a distance between everybody socially. This still... It does. It creates the... I'm increasingly interested, both, just general curiosity, but morbidly interested in what is it between Karara and Kiyoshika? I think I'd better ask him about it next time I see him. All right, good luck with that. Putting aside our concerns about the Tsukumo twins, we continue our breakfast without further incident. For a while, I decide to head back to my room. Free time trigger? Even if things are quiet now, I shouldn't let my guard down. I have to be ready for the next attack whenever it does come. Yeah, free time trigger. Okay, how are we doing as far as our stats? Tagging, Karara, it looks like our closest target. Don't know that we have any items that would necessarily be a good gift for her. Oh, but, Shoma looks like literature? Yeah. His is both literature types. Hers, I think, is just exploration. But since that's the one that will fill the meter first, we're going to try to get another result. All right, let's try party. Festival goods, party poppers, nose glasses. Let's... Oh man, those are pricey. We have plenty of fabric, though. Let's try party popper with Karara. This seems questionable. Okay, not on target, but not bad. It was still a better boost than normal. And it was plenty. Okay, so that bumps us up to 3 with social studies. I don't know what the markers actually are, because the number is relatively independent of them. Because I have 8 boxes filled in social studies, but what does that mean? Well, how does that mean 3? What's our next target? Let's go for creativity and literacy. We don't have Shoma to target here. How about Darami? Nope. Okay, Darami, though, we have some ideas of what works with her. And I think we got a really good one. There we go. The legendarily depressing Eroge. So this one required that we find an item. Okay, well, full bonus. All right, we're entering day 50. Looks like I made it through another day. I get the feeling things won't stay this peaceful for much longer. I looked up suddenly, startled out of my thoughts. Nothing had really happened, but I sensed something. Was it my imagination, or was there someone just outside my door? My understanding of it, Dodds, is that it's a amalgamation of erotic game. But the I will not deny that I'm going to be way off on the Japanese syllable pronunciation. And I have not heard the word say that. I've not heard a character actually say that, I believe. Is Kako lurking? Cautiously opened the door, wondering why whoever it was didn't knock or ring the bell. When I got outside, there was nobody there. I'll have to look that up. Now I'm curious. Guess I'm just imagining it. I felt so sure, though. Oh, and it's raining, too. It's really coming down hard. Raindrops were pelting the rooftop all around me, producing a relentless rhythmic beat. But he turns around and there's someone there. So if you look at the science emote there on Twitch Dots, you can actually see the sprite for the original Catbot. One of the earliest implementations of them from our Noida mod. Turned around to go back inside, but found myself gazing up at the sky. That big rock again. Weird. Looks bigger than it was before. Does it change from day to day? Maybe it's just a trick of the light in the rain. Is this the true final weapon of world death? The Earth hauls the moon down? Are we going to get Majora's Mask? Okay, well, I wasn't expecting Death Star. That's no moon. It's the Tokyo resident. Oh, that's the something. Oh, this guy again. He's trying to tell me something, just like before. I still can't hear a thing. This is Takumi's classic jumping to wild conclusions. I have no basis for these accusations, but I'm gonna make them. Just as I lunge forward to grapple with the fiery invader, There was a sound like the sky ripping apart and a blinding flash of light. Takumi is struck by lightning and killed. That is the first ending of the game. I was so surprised that my whole body tensed up. My foot came down on the slick ground at a weird angle and I lost my balance. Next thing I knew, well, nothing. I totally blacked out. In this darkness, Takumi actually slipped, stumbled off the roof, fell, and was killed. He wakes up the following morning. Oh, okay, we have fancy suit. So he always has the hat. He always has the kind of 50s hat. When he wears the suit, though, it really does have the vibe of it's hard to fit a regular suit. Like full dress shirt and coat over an egg. It's just an awkward shape for fabric. Is it just he said that because it rhymes? Steeped. The amount of automation that's presented here, the fact that when the recording says, again, nominally, the recording says, I'm unlocking the room, it unlocks, which means all of this is being unlocked on a timer. There is an expectation of the flow of events happening here. One possibility is that we could be getting a cabin in the woods scenario where bringing these kids to this location and having them do this for 100 days is a sort of ritual. Whether they fail or they succeed, it does something. Hey, all. Welcome. We did cross one of our break lines here. I am going to step away for just a moment. I will be right back. We're back. I came to lying on the cold, hard surface of the school rooftop. Was I dreaming? No, my back was aching too badly for this to be anything but real. Now the real question is going to be, since his room is like right on the path, it's if you walk down the center to get to the exit, if you don't zigzag or go to the right first, you would walk right past his door. He has been nominally out cold on the ground in front of his room all night. For a moment, I couldn't remember how I got there. Are we going to see, oh, we went to the cafeteria. Well, you seemed like you were sleeping. We didn't want to disturb you. And it all came rushing back. The invader made of undying flames appeared again last night. That's right, he attacked me. Like, we don't get the impression that he's a really bad person. He's just kind of the worst with the conclusions that he jumps to. Like, the first little conspiracy theory that rattles around in his skull enough to, like, bingo ball its way into the socket is the one that is absolutely true. Is that... What was that weird technique he used? It looked like the whole sky lit up for a second, and then... Okay, to be fair, Takumi doesn't know what lightning was, and it wasn't until he tried to make a move to capture the strange creature that the lightning struck. Still, though, you shot first, Takumi. You alright, Takumi? What are you doing out here? Okay. He hasn't been trampled by his classmates. Oh, hey, Ito. That was some weather we had last night, huh? I'd never seen lightning before. Lightning? A discharge of electricity from storm clouds. It happens here in the outside world from time to time. You probably heard the thunder. That's the sound of it hitting the ground. There's enough force in each strike to cause instant death. Instant death? That's what I read, anyway. Lightning is rare, but when it happens, it's swift and deadly. Honestly, with such natural phenomena to deal with, it's hard to believe humanity survived here for as long as they did. Wait, natural phenomena? So all that was just natural? Wasn't an attack? But then why did I... You sure you're feeling all right, Takumi? You look pale. Maybe you should get some rest. I can bring you your breakfast if you like. I mean, we'll give him a little bit of leeway. He did just concuss himself. I don't mind making the trip twice for you. That's what friends are for, right? No, I'm fine. I just need a minute. I'll see you in the cafeteria. Okay, but let me know if there's anything I can do for you. With a reluctant smile, Ito went on ahead. That lightning flash wasn't something the invader did. Why did I end up passing out until morning? How did it happen? How did it happen again? I thought back to the events of last night. I lunged for the invader, there was a flash of light and a loud bang, and I was falling. It's his recollection of exactly what happened is fuzzy. Did I slip on the wet ground and hit my head? Guess that would explain it. Would have left me completely defenseless, though. Why didn't the invader finish me off? So, it's shown its ability to essentially appear and disappear out of your room, sir. If it wanted to kill you, it just could. It could just appear while you slept and off you. I mean, I joked about conspiracy theory in his head, but his behavior has a lot of those vibes. The creature demonstrates incredible supernatural powers. We can attribute that to it. But also, some of your descriptions of it and how you are justifying things that happened the way that for things to have happened the way that you want them to in your head requires the entity also be fantastically incompetent. Like, it's definitely Invader out to kill us all, and it's what it did that is causing all of these problems. But it also didn't just kill me when I appeared. Like, you did not have your weapons and armor on you. It's wreathed in undying fire. It can teleport. If it wanted you dead, you're dead. Another mystery to add to the pile. I should let the others know about this. Probably in the cafeteria already. When I got to the cafeteria, I found everyone discussing the new area that had opened up. The courtyard, right? Yeah, I saw it. Looks pretty nice, huh? Yeah, it's a little on the plain side, but I think that's... but I like that it's got a lot of space. Why are there cages there, though? I didn't see any animals. Ominous. With cages that big, we could keep an invader or two. I'd make it nice and comfy for them. That sounds like a plausible new mechanic, is capture. Invaders are our enemies, not pets. Never mind that. Where's my present? I was promised a special gift for being a brave soldier. Are you saying there's no gift? No, everything is lies. Everything is lies. Not much we can do about it. Sire isn't here anymore. What do you think he was going to give us? The announcement made it sound pretty special. Doubtless it would be something intended to boost our morale and bring us some measure of joy, so perhaps... a new set of torture instruments? Collars with bombs in them? You two are the only ones who'd want something like that. I bet it was a big wad of cash. Just my luck I'd miss out on getting it. I hated to ruin the mood, but they needed to know. I raised my voice to make myself heard over the tumult. Everyone, can I have your attention for a minute? There's something I need to... Shocking. Before I could go on, I was cut off by a blaring siren. The alarm? The invaders are back already? Seriously? It's usually more time between attacks than this. No fair springing another one on us this early. I'm gonna hurl. No matter how many times I hear this siren, it never gets any easier to deal with. Let's go, everyone. If the invaders are attacking, there's only one thing for us to do. Come, unwashed masses, to the war room. Right, let's do it. Everyone hurried out of the room, effectively putting the conversation on hold. Telling them about last night can wait. Defending the school comes first. That's what I have to focus on right now. Defeat the invaders. Defend the school. Save mankind! Right, everyone's here. Let's get out there and kick some ass. Wait a minute. I've been checking the security feed and something's not right. What you mean? Yagamu pointed to the monitor. I mean, the last time we encountered a commander seeming comfortable to operate on its own, it pretty much had, OP one-shot powers. Tsubasa pressed a few buttons, and the image on the screen zeroed in on the strange figure, gradually showing more and more details. Is this Moko, the missing person? There we go. This was the member of second to last Defense Academy that was... They captured or led away the mind-controlling commander. They were fighting that one, and Moko was led off by it at the end. So the implication being it tagged her with its control powers, and that's what captured her. But, this also says she survived for this long, so what was going on? Additionally, she got through the fire. Invaders can only periodically do that. The only way that we do that is with the fire extinguishers. They are special and are regenerated every so often. We rushed outside to where the girl had collapsed and carried her back to the school. There was still a vacant room on the roof, so we set her up in there. Looks like she's not hurt too badly. I think she just passed out from exhaustion. That's a relief. I've got to say, though, I'm surprised this is... I'm surprised. Is this really the girl you told us about before? Yes, this is Moko Mojiro. Our friend, our ally, the one who saved our lives. She stopped the invaders from destroying the second campus at the cost of being taken prisoner, right? I guess she must have found a way to escape. I always knew she'd be all right. If the high school pro wrestling scene couldn't break her, what chance did the invaders have? I mean, it's just interesting that there's a high school pro wrestling scene. I feel like if you meant Olympic wrestling, you would have just said wrestling. So it's not just a costume. She's an actual wrestler. Sadly, not a luchador-style wrestler. But perhaps her school uniform will have a mask. We can only hope. I wonder how she got through the wall of fire, though. Maybe she followed some invaders in. Or rather, she waited for them to make a hole in the wall, defeated them before they could use it, then went through herself. But that would mean she defeated a whole squad by herself. Yeah, that's what I thought, Lore, that, like, standard competitive wrestling, your, again, Olympic-style wrestling, would be just wrestling, whereas pro wrestling is more of your WWEs and what have you. Trust me, Moko could have done it. That would explain why she's so tired now, too. Well, it's a better theory than anything I can come up with. I mean, you can probably come up with a lot of theories that you feel like are amazing theories, but you won't let them go, Takumi. It's fun when you find out that old, like, company or business names are similar. It's not that the product or the business truly went away. It's that they had to fully rebrand. If I recall correctly, Sierra Mist, the beverage, went through a big turmoil because at one point they lost the trademark. Like, they didn't renew the trademark in time. And let's say an adult film actress who used the name Sierra Mist and had been running into some problems with that, got the trademark, snatched it up. I can't recall exactly how it played out, but there were issues at the time. Exactly. It's fun finding out that kind of stuff. Well, it's better theory than. If Moko's that strong, having her on the team is going to do wonders for our morale. I was so worried. I wanted to believe she'd be okay, but she was gone so long. Seems like this Moko girl means a lot to Nozomi. No, not just her. Yagamu, Kyoshika, and Kurara clearly care about her too. They told me before that she saved their lives, but I never really got the full story. Look, she's opening her eyes. This is another kind of anime trope character form. Is that there's a propensity for the really big when you're dealing with anime style, not like, we're not talking like Baki the Grappler, pseudo like hyper exaggerated muscular kind of big character or that art style. But if you're talking like, big eyes small mouth anime style, there's a propensity for some of the big muscly guys to be either like the big muscly guys to be chubby, and for the women to still have very soft features, but to still demonstrate strong musculature. So she's got like the big like round blush cheeks there, the double chin, the round head. But from what we could see in the distance, she is muscly. She is big. That is not the only form that kind of character takes. You can also get the super fit big woman too. It is interesting though. Anime in particular has a lot of, in addition to general character tropes like their character archetypes, you also get physical appearance archetypes, and they don't necessarily aren't necessarily paired with character personality or anything like that. Just you get a series of archetypes that you can mix and match. Archetype depends on. Is archetype bright? I always I always find a pronunciation of an English word that looks like it looks how it's pronounced to be suspect, because we have so many words that are pronounced entirely different than they are written, even when they're not like very different language originating. Archetype. Yeah, that does sound right in my mind now. Oh well. I like her already. She knows the meaning of that word just fine. With the last nonsensical murmur about her skin, Moko closed her eyes and her head went limp. She's okay, just sleeping. She'll probably need more time to recover completely. At least she's not in any serious danger. I'm sure she'll be fine once she gets some rest. Now that she's on school grounds, we can revive her if the worst happens. Hopefully it won't come to that, though. I hope so. Come on, let's get her some privacy. She wouldn't like you watching her sleep, no matter how fascinating it is to you. Right. I mean, Nozomi knows what's up. She can tell he's a creeper. Nozomi and I quietly slipped out of Moko's room. Once we were outside, Nozomi heaved a sigh of relief. This is such a load off my mind. I can hardly believe Moko found her way back to us. I thought we'd be searching for her a lot longer. I always knew we'd get her back in the end, but I never expected it to be this easy. Let's hope this means our luck's starting to turn. Well, they've been steadily introducing new types of commanders and gimmicks to go with them. I wonder if the next one's going to be the Chestburster commander, and that's why we have received her back all by herself. About the battle when Moko got captured, what exactly happened back then? If it's okay with you, I'd like to hear more about how it all went down. That's fine. I guess I did just skim over it before. When we first woke up at the academy, we were scared and confused. From what you've told me, it probably wasn't too different from how things were here. But Moko took charge and stopped us from falling apart. That's just the kind of person she is. Whenever we were feeling down, she always knew what to say to cheer us up. Her smile could really light up a room. It's thanks to her that we learned to work as a real team. We would never have made it this far if it weren't for her. I wish we'd had someone like that here. But it wasn't just her personality. She could pull her weight in battle, and then some. She'd plow through any enemies that got in her way. It was amazing. To some extent, they're presenting her kind of like Hiriko. Hiriko was really harsh, and seemingly not as likable, like not as positive, charismatic. Hiriko had much more of a tech CEO vibe than a actual, leader mentality. The I'm right, get in line, follow orders. But Hiriko was also presented as she had been doing this since before the others had arrived. Like she had experience and was ready to take charge when, as soon as Sirei went missing. So I wonder if there's a pattern of them putting like at least a leader figure with some greater capability in these groups. I even saw her suplex an invader the size of a train once. References! She used wrestling moves on invaders? That is amazing. But then, on our 10th day at the academy, a huge swarm of invaders attacked. It was only our second real battle, and even with Moko's help, we were totally out of our league. On top of that, the invaders weren't attacking blindly. They had a strategy, and they executed it perfectly. What kind of strategy? They kept us busy with their main force on the north side of the school grounds, while sending out strike teams to isolate and eliminate us one by one. We were still new to fighting, and even when we realized what was going on, we couldn't react to it in time. It didn't take them long to destroy the barrier. Kyoshika. Okay. It's not Shika, it's Shika. Oh, things were real bad. Nozomi was holding the line. I mean, clearly, desperate situation, but simultaneously, she is weak as all get out in battle, like Solo. She is weak, weak, weak. She has the lowest HP, and she has not great offense. That would have been... If she wasn't fighting directly in a doorway that pointed into a narrow hallway, a long, narrow hallway, no way. Don't believe. I don't know if it was adrenaline or latent power or just desperation, but she somehow managed to make it to Nigo and throw him to safety. After that, though, she barely had any energy left, and that's when they captured her, huh? Nigo got the infirmary up and running and revived the others as fast as he could, but it was too late. The enemy was leaving, taking Moko with them. By the time we could fight again, they were already gone. The commander must have used its brainwashing arrows to make her come quietly. No wonder everyone from the second campus loves Moko so much. If it hadn't been for her, they really would have been wiped out. She must have known when she charged in that she wouldn't make it out again. She's just lucky they decided to take her prisoner instead of killing her outright. Seeing her again, I can't help getting emotional. To do all that and escape and find her way here on her own, she's... The fact that they broke down the barrier and she was holding them outside, but as soon as Moko charged in... So, there is the implication that they were trying to capture one of them, if not Nigo in particular. Because when second to last defense was actually penetrated by a commander, it just blew it up. Well, I'm sorry, it went right for the room, and Nigo blew it up to stop it from finding out anything. But they were willing to back off once they had Moko captive. So, what's up with that? Why would they not just go all the way in and presumably take what they came for? If not that they already got it, that they had a captive. Seeing her again, I can't help getting emotional. To do all that, and escape, and find her way here on her own, she's so amazing. Yeah, there's really no other word for it. That's the part that bothers me, though. How did she escape? And how did she find us? I guess I'll just have to ask her when she wakes up. Nozomi and I went our separate ways, and I spent the rest of the day lounging about in my room. Checking something real quick here. That was day 50 at Last Defense Academy. We didn't fight any invaders, but we still had plenty to think about. Okay, we had a significant event. No actual battle, but still significant narrative event. Day! First things first, I should go to the cafeteria and see how everyone's doing. Well, everyone except Ima and Kako. But that's where we're going to wrap up for the day. Good stopping point. I hope everybody had a good time watching with us today. We're moving along steadily with this. Again, goal is one ending. If we are feeling particularly motivated after that, we may continue, but as far as for the stream, the goal is one ending. So we're going to keep at it until then. The next day of this is Saturday, I believe. Tomorrow we are going to be coding again. If I don't get the solution I have in mind for the loading code in, we'll be doing that tomorrow. Oh, but if you like what you saw and would like to see more, remember to like, follow, subscribe, drop me a comment on the video. I try to answer all of them, and it helps give me insight into what to do to make the channel more fun for you. But with all that said, I hope the rest of your day is a good one, and I'll catch you next time.